Howdy farmers, it's Red Knight here and welcome back to another one of my cool Heyday Farm videos. Now this one's all about the Heyday crops and I'm going to tell you lots of really cool information. But don't forget to subscribe for more videos later. Now this one, as I said, is about the Heyday crops. And did you know there are 22 types of crops? The first one we're going to look at are the field crops, and these are very important. They have their own specific growing stage, and to actually grow these crops you need plots of land that look just like this. Once you actually plant the crop, you then just need to wait for that crop to grow, and each crop has a specific growing stage, and you can watch it progressing as the clock ticks down until you get to its final stage, and then you can just harvest it. Now depending on the crop will depend on when you can get it and on how long it does take, and I'll give you that information later. Now here we can see some fields that are ready to have their crops collected, and I'm doing that now, getting lots of experience points and some nice little rewards as well. And then I'm ready to basically plant my crops again. Now when do we get these crops, I wonder? At what level do they come? Well, let's find out. Well, the first one you get is the wheat, and that comes from level 1, and it's really important, everybody. The next one you've got is the corn from level 2. Moving on again, we get the soybeans at level 5, and I love these soybeans, especially in the Derby. Then there are level 7 sugar canes. Moving on again to the carrots from level 9. Jumping ahead one more time to level 13, and we get the indigos. Then my favourite ones, the pumpkins from level 15, or the jack-o'-lanterns during Halloween season. Moving along slightly, same level still, we get the cotton for level 15, and then from level 25, which is quite a jump again, we get the chili pepper. Moving into level 30, we have the tomatoes. A nice little jump again to level 34 for the strawberries. And then back to the potatoes at level 35, and I love the potatoes. Now, as a rice eater, I need to get those from level 56, and I do enjoy my lettuce at level 58 as well. Right, now what are the next crops? They are the bush crops, and again the bush crops have a growing stage, but they're very different than the land crops. You have your bushes, basically you harvest from those bushes, they grow, they harvest again, they grow, until finally the bush dies, and then you need to cut it down. Let's give you an example of what I mean by harvesting. So here you see my berry bushes. I come along, I decide I want to pick those berry bushes, and I'm going to harvest them. So wonderful, let's get my basket out and let's collect all those beautiful little berries. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I can't wait to make myself a beautiful little berry and rhubarb pie. Now, what levels do these berries come from, I wonder, and what other kinds of bush crops do we have? Well, let's have a shifty, shall we? Well, the first one we're going to get is this beautiful little raspberry from level 19. Then moving on, we have this blackberry from level 26. And then finally, this wonderful coffee bean from level 42. And I do so adore my coffee. Now your last crop you've got here is your tree crops, and you need trees just like you can see here, and again they have their own specific growing stages, and you can see here from looking at these images, level 1, level 2, level 3 and level 4 until they finally die. Now here you can see all of the different stages, and depending on what you do, you will be able to harvest the fruit from those trees, or you can chop them down, or you just need to wait for them to grow. And as they grow, the trees change in size. You get fruit at different stages until finally you get that last bumper crop, which requires you to actually ask a friend to come and help you. Your friends will come and help you, they will revive that tree for you. You then just click on the little icon that comes up once they've actually revived it, and then the tree will bloom again and you can get your final crop. After that, you then need to think about chopping it down. Now please do be very careful with both the bush crops and the actual tree crops. You are going to need certain kinds of tools to do that, and I will show you a little bit later in the video which kinds of tools you do need. Now the actual growing time will vary depending on the bush and the tree crops. They will take a lot longer than your average land crop, so please do be aware of that as well. But what are the tree crops? What kind of fruit do we get? Well, let's go and have a look, because I think you are going to really adore these, because I know I do. Well, the first one we actually get is what you're looking at here, and that is the beautiful little apple. And I love apples. They're available from level 15 onwards. The next one you've got is your cherry from level 22, moving ahead again to another favorite of mine, a cocoa from level 36, and then the ultimate one, the olives from 57, and I adore olives. And then finally 66 for the lemons. Now that's all of the fruits. Now occasionally you will make a mistake and you will run out of a crop, but not to worry, because you can actually get them from somewhere else. You can use the diamonds to actually pick one up, or what you can do is go to Greg's farm. Occasionally he will sell some crop items just like you got there. They are a reduced price and everything that he sells is just for yourself. So this is one opportunity to pick up any crops that you do make a mistake. Now sometimes Greg doesn't sell them, so you do need to look elsewhere. You can actually go to the newspaper, and if you are lucky, by skimming through you can actually find some of the crops that maybe you have run out of. But then again, it will be a challenge sometimes. Sometimes you will be hunting through that newspaper a long time before you actually find the crop you're looking for, because not every crop is sold in the newspaper. So your actual best chance for getting crops is often from your hoodies. Just let them know that you are missing. Now, you don't actually have to go and look at your hoodies. What you can do is go down to your friend's bar as well. Now, you just saw me there looking at a roadside stall from the newspaper, but you've also got your friends as well. So starting off at the highest level, just actually click on the roadside stall and then just jump through the actual stalls until you find someone who's maybe selling one of the crops that you need if you have run out. Now, sometimes it will take a bit of time, sometimes you will go through quite a few levels. It all depends on the number of friends you've got. Now, if you do find that you can't find what you're looking for, even though people are selling the crops, just go onto Facebook. Now, on Facebook, maybe you belong to some of the Heyday Facebook groups. Just say to them, hey guys, I've run out of crops. I accidentally used my last one. I don't want to use any diamonds to buy a new one. I can't find any in the paper. Please do help me. Now, every single crop has a specific function, and that often relates to actually producing something. Now, how do you produce something? Well, you need the machine, just like the kind of imagery you're looking at here. Your cow's there, ready to bake and ready to cook. So let's have a look. Now, you will see the actual crop. You're also going to see imagery like this that's actually now going to come past. So please do pay very close attention to it, because it will give you specific information that relates to each of these individual crops. For example, we're looking at the actual corn here. The first one you're going to see is the price, i.e. 7 gold coins. Once it actually gives you the information of the coins, the next piece of information that it gives you will relate to the growing time. So if we look here at the soybeans, you can see the growing time is 20 minutes. So every time I plant one of those soybeans, it takes 20 minutes to grow. Moving on now to the sugarcane, which is probably my favorite product for growing. Okay, it also gives you a certain amount of experience points. Now in this case I get 3 experience points, and experience points are very, very important if you wish to level up within the game. So do pay attention to this kind of information. You need to be aware of how much it's going to cost you. You need to be aware of how long it takes to grow. You also need to be aware of the number of experience points. Now, another key important factor relates to some of the activities we do within the game. For example, you might want to fill a boat crate. Now again, I'm going to show you these specific bits of information a little bit later within the video, but you've just noticed here by actually looking at the indigo, and again by looking at the pumpkins here, that it requires a certain number of crops for each of the crepes. So the pumpkin here is 25 to 45. Now that can actually mean a lot of crops that you are getting rid of in one time. So if you are growing, perfect, it means you're getting rid of a lot of things very, very quickly. Now, depending on the crop will depend on the machines. Some of the crops actually service a lot of machines. Some of the crops, like this cotton as an example, only service a specific machine, and it will vary depending on that crop. For example, here we're looking at the one machine which is a loom. Now if we jump over to the actual berries here, what does this one service? Well, let's have a look. As we scroll down past the raspberry information, it tells me it's the bakery, the sewing machine, the juice press, the jam maker, the coffee kiosk, the candle maker, the smoothie mixer, and the hat maker. Perfect. So that's a lot of machines that product does actually service and sort out. Now, do you have to make all of the items? No, you don't. Okay. Do you actually have to grow all of the crops? No, you don't. You can buy them from elsewhere. You saw earlier in the video that you can purchase them from the newspaper. But do be aware that not everybody sells every single crop. Some crops are very common in the newspaper, some are not. Every crop that's actually grown that will service a machine, for example, will again have a specific turnaround time. Now, depending on the machine will depend on the item that's requested, and then again that actual item will take a specific amount of time. For example, if you're actually looking at the tomatoes here, now you're going to need the tomatoes on the bakery, the barbecue grill, the juice press, the soup kitchen, etc. But if you're making, say, like a pizza, it won't take so much time, but maybe the juice will take a lot longer. So again, you need to balance how you're going to use it. And then again, you need to think about the actual growing time for that crop as well. So maybe the growing time is much longer, but the actual produce making time is very short. So there are swings and roundabouts within the game. So please do be very careful. At the end of the day, you do not want to run out of crops, because if you can't find them in the newspaper, and let's say you run out of tomatoes, it takes a long time to actually regrow. Now, when it comes to the field crops, okay, that's your biggest worry. But for the actual tree crops or the bushes, you don't have any concern there at all. If you've actually run out of those crops, no problems. You just plant another tree or you plant another bush. It's the field crops that are the biggest worry when it comes to servicing these machines. Specifically the rice as an example. Like when you're actually using the rice on some of these machines, okay, the amount of rice needed for every single production item for the sushi bar and the pasta maker is a lot. So do be aware of that. I love those olives. They are one of my favorites, and they make some really delicious items. So if we come down here to the sauce maker and the salad bar, okay, the sauce maker, some perfect little olive oil. Absolutely fabulous. Now we're getting very close to the end of the machine information. As I said, do check out the Heyday wiki. It will give you a lot of cool facts like you're looking at here. You can also find out about the machines as well, which I'm not actually going to give you in this video. If you want to check out about the machines, you need to watch another one, which I can link in the subscription a little bit later for you. Okay, right, now that's all of the machines versus the products covered. What's next? Well, the main thing you need to worry about is harvesting. Now, when you actually harvest, what happens? Well, for every field crop you get 2. For every tree and bush you get 2, 3 and 4, and then the last one is actually where the tree or the bush dies. Now once you've actually harvested, where do they all go? Well, they actually go to the silo, and you can expand the silo, and to do that you need the silo expansion materials. Now if you can actually get those silo expansion materials, perfect. If not, then just ask your hoodies or friends or everybody else to help you. Now the great thing about harvesting is that you get lots of really cool rewards, and this is really important. Now if you want to find out what kind of rewards, you just tap on the silo or you tap on the barn and it will tell you, okay, just harvest the crops, or literally just feed your animals with the produce that you're making as well. And then you can get these really wonderful expansion materials. Now you saw a really good example earlier of this. You're seeing an example here on what to do within this part of the video as well. So please do it. At the end of the day, harvesting is one of your important tasks and you must do it. Just look at this. Here I am. I'm harvesting my rice. Okay, I get lots of experience points. Perfect. My score increases. I get the expansion materials at the same time, and then I just replant. You can pick and choose how you want to plant depending on your level, depends on the number of land. Remember that for every crop that you plant on a piece of land, it gives 2 in return. So for every one of these I'm harvesting, that's 2 lots of crop. Now you get barn, you get silo, you get the town expansion materials, you get saws, you get axes, you get mine equipment. So it's actually very, very worthwhile. So please do harvest, everybody. At the end of the day, you really must do this, especially if you want to get saws and axes, because you don't want to be hiring Tom all the time. Now, one of the downsides for actually having the bushes and the trees, you need to either chop them down by using saws and axes, depending on the actual item. You also need to request help from your hoodies. Now, requesting help from your hoodies is easy. You just tap on the tree like I've done there, an exclamation mark comes up. Your hoodie or friend sees it, they come along, they tap on the actual tree or the bush, you then see the image icon appear, you tap on that, you send them a thank you letter, hopefully that contains a thank you card. Now here you're seeing I'm using the basket, I'm collecting from a lot of my trees, and then basically my trees are going to go into whatever stage they are, whether it's 1, 2, 3 or 4. Now if you get to stage 4, you've got to chop them down. If it's stage 1, okay, then it's basically the lowest one. Stage 2 and 3, okay, you can revive those. Now as I said, okay, you do get a certain number of berries or fruit from those actual trees or bush crops, and you can see that at the early part of the harvesting where I gave that information. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I love the trees in the game, and I'm so looking forward to actually getting more trees, more fruit, more bushes, and again more land produce at some stage as the game actually gets updated. So fingers crossed we get some really nice items again in the updates that are coming out this year or maybe even next year. Now you're seeing here that I'm actually collecting a lot of resources. I'm getting lots of experience points. They're gradually filling up my silo. Now if you do run out of space, okay, that means you've just got to sell them. Or you can use the actual items for actually making the produce based on the machines that you saw earlier in the video. Now some of these trees you need to chop down like I'm doing here, okay, and there go some of my saws. Now do help out each other within your neighborhood, okay, maybe you've got a lot of saws, someone else needs them, then just pass them over. Good luck with finding these in the newspaper, they are a rare item, not everybody sells them. If you're looking for saws and axes, Tom is a good option. He only costs 15 diamonds for the 1 day, and then basically during that 12-hour period, every 2 hours you can actually hire him. Now he will often look for 9, 8 or 7. If he only offers you 7, send him back to sleep for a couple of minutes and then hopefully he will find you 8 or 9. But at the end of the day that's still not going to be a lot, but you can still get a certain amount during that 24-hour period. Or 12 hours as it works out, because he sleeps for every 2 hours. Like I said, your best option is actually asking your hoodies, and hopefully they will be able to sort you out, or if you're in a Facebook group, maybe people can sell you some as well. If you see them in the newspaper, snap them up as quickly as you can, and I mean it, do buy them because they are very, very rare. And the only best way of getting these is through harvesting. At least I think so. I get most of my saws and axes through harvesting my field crops. So please do harvest, everybody. Trust me, it really does give a good return. Great thing about actually asking for help as well, you get lots of these little icons that appear from your friends to say that they've come and revived your tree or your bush. You then tap on that imagery, it sends them a wonderful thank you letter, and then if they are lucky enough they will get a thank you card inside. Now remember that the thank you cards do mean prizes, and again sometimes you will get saws and axes as a reward from those thank you cards, or maybe some other really cool prize. So help, help, help. It's fantastic. Now every single activity you're looking here can also relate to derby tasks as well. So harvesting, reviving, these are really cool derby tasks. Making produce as well, using your crops, again really cool derby tasks. But there are a lot of other tasks as well. Now when it comes to the actual making money, your best option is through the roadside stall, which is this one here. Wheat is probably one of the better sellers, corn is number 2, and I would say carrots are number 3. They will sell very quickly, and they are probably the best money earners for the time wise. However, I actually prefer sugar canes. Okay, they don't take so much time to actually grow, and then the return is just as good. Now that's my recommendation. Go for the sugar cane if you are a lower level. Now you can sell the wheat, you can sell the corn, you can sell the carrots. Carrots do go quite fast, but sometimes the wheat will sit there a long time. If you're looking to make a lot of money at a lower level, then selling any of the fruit will give you a lot of money very quickly. However, please be aware, as I said, okay, you're going to end up with a lot of dead trees, so you are going to need saws and axes. But do not sell for a reduced price. Sell for maximum price, everybody. Okay, by selling for maximum price, you're going to get the better return. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can sell them for base price, like carrots here at 20, or max for 72. Or if you want to, just sell them for 1 coin if you want to get rid of them quickly. I find during derby tasks, as an example, if I'm doing a derby wheat task, that's a lot of wheat, like 900 within a certain amount of time. So I tend to sell maybe the wheat for a reduced price. It comes off my stall very quickly. But if I'm doing, say, a strawberry task, nope, I'm going to sell the strawberries for maximum price. The same with the indigo. I don't want to be losing out considering the time and the energy it takes. Now here you're seeing me selling lots of resources. People are coming along, they are buying these crops. So like I said, people do buy them. Now if no one's buying your crops, don't worry about it. It either means that basically the newspaper is overloaded with the crops of a similar thing. It could mean you don't have enough friends to actually come and purchase the items. You don't actually have to advertise them. You can leave them unadvertised. But my recommendation, if you are selling crops, is please do advertise in a newspaper. Then people will come along. Not everything sells at the same time. You can see here that the items are still sitting there, but if I come back to the stall later, then maybe I will have sold all of them. I'm in no rush. I will just come back, collect the coins, keep adding new items and making money. Now, what's another way of making money? Well, you get visitors, and these visitors come along every now and then, and they say, please sell me some crops. However, you will find that the return is not as good as selling by the roadside stall, but it's often a good way of making a nice little bit of money, specifically when it comes to like the events or doing a derby task, for example. So please do be aware that sometimes a visitor can be quite beneficial. Another option you've got is your boat task. Now a boat task can be very good for some crops. Now I gave you the information earlier in the video when it came down to the machine, so depending on your level will depend on the amount of crops required. Do you have to do them? No, you can request help. You can actually say, no thank you, I don't want to do this one. You can send the boat away. But do remember that you are getting experience points as well as the coins for every crate that you are filling, so the return can be quite good, and experience allows you to level up, which is our ultimate goal, because the more you level up, the more crops you get. Now another way of actually selling crops is through the actual truck order board. Occasionally you'll get requests for crops. Now again, you get experience points and coins as well. Now maybe the coins are not so beneficial, but the experience points do add up again, and then as I said, you level up, you get more crops. So the return at the end of the day is down to your choice. I do like it during the truck events. It's beneficial. Now the last one, now again will depend on your level, is basically through the town. Now some of the visitors will request some items. Now it's your choice if you want to sell them. You don't have to. Okay, in addition to actually selling for coins, getting experience, getting that wonderful reward, you've also got another option for rewards, and that relates to the achievements. Now, did you know there are 129 achievements currently within the game, and there are achievements for actually doing crop-based activities. So you get the achievements for the field crops, you get the achievements for the berry crops, you get the achievements for the truck crops. In addition, you also get achievements for going to your friend's farm, reviving those trees and reviving those bushes. And at the end of the day, it's worth doing it. Okay, you get diamonds. You've got 3 chances of getting diamonds for each one of the achievements, and that can mount up. Now the required amounts will vary. Sometimes they are very, very easy, sometimes they are very challenging. But as you just play the game, okay, the achievements come, and fingers crossed you will get them all done very, very quickly. I know for myself, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, what can I do with those diamonds? Well, one option I do like is the new edit mode, and the edit mode is pretty sweet because it lets you have a look at what trees, bushes, and land crops that you've actually got within the game very, very easily in one location. And it also allows you to come up with some really creative designs using those berry bushes, using those trees, using any of the trees and bushes, using any of the land, and you can create some wonderful designs in the edit mode. And a little bit later, after I've quickly gone through this, I will show you some of the awesome designs that are out there in the world. Now, not too many. If you want to see more, please do come and subscribe to me on Instagram, because I share a lot of the images I actually see there. Now here I'm placing out my farmland, and once that's done the counter will go down to 0. You'll see there on the left hand side I had wheat, on the right hand side I had carrots. Now I'll show you something in a little bit as well. Now I've got some apple trees here. Let's just place down all of my apple trees as well. Now within the game I have apple trees of different sizes, and again you can see the different sizes here very, very clearly as I just paste them down into this edit mode option. Sometimes it won't let me, so let's just have to do it. Now I've got some other trees here. Again, as I paste those out there, you can see all the different sizes for the ones I've actually got. It also gives you a good indication by coming to the edit mode to see how many trees and bushes or land plots you've actually got within the game. And I find this is a good way of telling if I've got too many or not enough sometimes. Now just placing all those down, again all different sizes. At the moment I'm just putting them all into their groups just so you can see. Okay, get those berry bushes down. Nice little bit of painting here, redecorating this extra land. I do so like this edit mode, it makes it so easy. Now straight away you can see that I've got more of the red berries, less of the blackberries there. So I need to maybe get some more within the game. You'll notice as well that I'm lacking in some of the trees as well, so I maybe need to get some more of these trees. You'll see there's a dead tree as well, so even in the edit mode you still have to place down the dead trees, and it's the same with the dead nectar bushes as well. Okay, now that's all of my land placed, that's all of my trees out. So these are all of the crops that I've currently got within the game, and every single one here is laid out in the edit mode just so you can see the quantities that I'm actually using. You also saw earlier the numbers as well. Okay, well let's go and do something very, very strange here. Now what I'm going to do is just to save this the way this is, go back to my main farm, and I will then show you something very, very interesting. Now as I come back to my main farm, you can see here my actual design. Now what would happen if I harvest these crops? Does it stay the same, I wonder? So let's collect them. Let's collect my carrots because I do need the carrots. My rabbits are hungry and I get some saws there as well. Sweet, was that not awesome? Now let's go and do some others as well. So maybe I'll do some of those trees there. That one's easier. There are fewer trees here. So collect all of those olives, put those into my storage, and yummy, yummy, yummy. I do so love that. So 23,000 out of 25,000. Sorry, not 2,300. What am I saying? 2,300 of 2,500. Okay, so this plot of land is now empty. I've got my wheat here at the moment, as you can see. I've taken some trees. I'm going to collect some berries as well, just so you can see what happens. Now, all of these are going to die. Currently within the game, you notice that they were all alive. Now, at the moment, I won't chop them down. I'll do that much later. Jump back to the edit mode. Let's see how it's changed. Now, straight away, you can see that the trees are different. Just there. You'll see that the actual berry bushes are also different as well. And I've got lots of actual nectar bushes there as well. So let's go and show you something even special. So these ones are dead. I'm going to save that, go back to my main farm and request a revive. So even with the revives, okay, you can request a revive, and once it's actually revived here within the game, it also revives it in the edit mode. So any changes you make on your main farm, be aware that in the edit mode they are also changed as well. So if you've created a wonderful design using trees and bushes, etc., you are going to have to make subtle changes to the edit mode. So don't forget that. If you remove crops, you remove trees, you remove bushes, you will find that you need to update that as well. So okay, I've requested help. Now you'll see there's no indication for help there, but if I come back to my farm, they will now have been helped by someone. And there they go. So thank you very much, Kevin, that was appreciated. So I'm going to say thank you very much, send him some cards, and hopefully they contain some gift cards inside. Let's go back to my edit mode and we'll have a look, and you will see, wait, they're all gone. So when you're harvesting, they die. When you're actually reviving, they come back to life. So you'll see these changes within the game very, very easily. Now it's the same with the numbers. If I start chopping them down, then the numbers decrease as well. Now how about with the farmland? So if I replant, will this also mean that it changes as well? Yes, it does. I'm chopping down the trees. Does this mean that the trees will disappear? Basically, yes. You chop down, they vanish from your edit mode. You revive, they change in your edit mode. You modify the land, it changes in your edit mode. So as I said, please be aware of this. And I do like the fact that I can get lots of beautiful help. Feed my rabbits, as I said, I've got the carrots now. Now what should I choose to do for my crop this time? Okay, I think I need some potatoes, need some strawberries, let's do those. Aha! My revives have been done already, super awesome. So Darren, thank you very much, that is very nice of you. Let's just send away those thank you letters, and let's collect those little thank you messages, send them on their way, and fingers crossed there is a beautiful gift card inside there as well for you. Right, the last part here, let's just plant a little bit more on this land, and then that's done and dusted as well. Right, 2 more. So, wow, Shuri, thank you very much. She is an awesome designer, by the way. Right, now there you see my land has actually changed as well. So all of those potatoes and crops I planted are all different. All my bushes are revived, the trees I chopped down are gone, so my numbers have changed. Right, now I'm going to stop there and start looking at some of the designs. Okay, for me this is one of my favorite parts of the games. Now I do love to use the edit mode, I do love to be creative, and as you can see with all of these imagery now that I'm about to show you, or that I've already started, wow, we have some really wonderful designs there. Now every single one of these uses either the land, or it uses the bushes, or it uses the actual trees to create some kind of wonderful design based imagery that makes their farm stand out and makes it look a little bit special. Now I often hear people saying, okay, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to design. Well, guess what guys, you can by just copying other people, by looking at what they do and then trying to mimic them. Remember that mimicry is often the best form of flattery, and I love to come and look at these designs and I love to share them. So in fact, if you want to be shared, everybody, send me your imagery, send me your designs, send me your farms, and I will put them out there to the rest of the world. I will post them on Instagram, I will post them on Facebook, I will put them in Twitter. So do send them to me. Okay, right, that's it for this video. I've spoke a lot about all of the crops within the game, and I do hope you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a happy heyday now.